That's a word you use if you have the IQ and personality of a barnacle.
Took a couple seconds on that one. Couldn't think of low IQ things. What do we got here? Ferrets? No, they're kind of clever. Dolphin? No, dolphins are fucking smart. They will come to me. Wood. Everybody, 2023. 2023, word of the year. If any of you know it, don't reveal it. Don't spoil. No spoiler warnings. No spoilies. Don't you spoil it. But I would like to know in all three chats. What do you think it is? What are some guesses? Throw some wild guesses out there. Silly ones, real ones. Skibbity. We got skibbity. Douche canoe. Douche canoe. Woke. Okay. Don't Rizz me. Spoil this. Among Us. Your mum. Oh, we have a second douche canoe. All right, so that's two for douche canoe. Karen, all right, Karen. That one's probably good. You know, very much so. Gyat, Booba. I'm very happy to hear about Booba because it allows me to think about Booba, and that calms me and brings me joy. Socialist, okay, socialist. Sassy Shuda's in there. All right, we got Sassy Shuda. Yeah, okay, all right. Another douche canoe and one George Santos. Well, I mean, I need to know.
This is from AP, the AP. Oxford University Press has named Rizz.
Who had Rizz? We saw at least two. I saw at least two Rizz. So it's Rizz, everybody. Yes, Rizz. Rizz is the word of 2023. Yep, it's happening. It's happening, everybody.
As its word of the year, highlighting the popularity of a term used by Generation Z to describe someone's ability to attract or seduce another person. It topped Swiftie, which is an enthusiastic fan of Taylor Swift, situationship, an informal romantic or sexual relationship, and prompt, an instruction given to an artificial intelligence program.
Now, I just want to get ahead of this very quickly because we're listening to a white supremacist right now, Matt Walsh, also someone who judges Nazi diaper competitions, and who does he ever? He is also, I believe, a diaper fetishist who's trying to sell infantilized dolls of himself to children, which is very, very fucked up. So he's a dangerous man, very gross, dangerous, gross man who makes a lot of weird pedophilic comments and defends pedophiles. Definitely a weird dude, to say the least. And I assume he's probably going to talk about Rizz as Gen Z lingo. Well, this is Gen Z speak, right? This is the way Gen Z uses language. The terms that I was using as a millennial when I was younger, you know, like tubular, yeah, bodacious, cowabunga, dude, pizza time, all of those things. I think I'm just remembering TMNT, the animated series. But I just want to quickly read a little of this article. What the hell is Rizz? Anyway, Oxford's word of the year has infiltrated our language, beating out words like Swiftie, Taylor Swift superfans, or situationship, the in-between stage of dating. This one's new to me, and I feel very old. Yeah. Announced on Monday, the buzziest word of the year is just a shortened slang for the word charisma. We're learning things. To Oxford, it just means style, charm, or attractiveness, the ability to attract a romantic or sexual partner. The latter is the most important part to Gen Zers, who shot the word into fame this year on TikTok trends like a man on the street interviewing flirting with random strangers to determine who has the most Rizz. Rizz is just a cool word to describe a person with real, strong social game. According to Oxford, the word speaks to how language that enjoys intense popularity and currency within particular social communities, and even in some lowercase, lose their popularity and have become passé. Well, what they haven't said yet, and this article I believe gets to it, is how this is also another instance of white people taking vernacular invented by black people and then just kind of running it into the ground and taking away its cool factor, amongst other things, as we'll get into in this. Rizz's popularity is a sign of the impact of Gen Z and internet culture have had on the English language, but the word's origins truly lie within black culture and African-American vernacular English, or AAVE. Its originator, Sanat, is a black man from New York who told Complex that the word was made up by his group of friends before he shared it on Twitch. To Sanat, the word is not short for charisma, but instead it meant game. This is the first time that the word originating with black people. This is not the first time that the words originating with black people or culture, intersecting with black queer communities, have been co-opted and popularized by white people or just the mainstream. Words like slay, queen, cap or fleek and lit are just examples that have historically been used in black communities, but did not gain popularity until it was adopted by white mainstream, have gone viral. But instead of acknowledging the origin, they've been deemed a new vocabulary word created by Gen Z. So yeah, the erasure of terms that are obviously used within the black community. And then, yeah, I mean, being white myself, I can certainly attest to the fact that, like, immediately, you know, when you don't have things such as Rizz, you may hear these words and be like, that's really cool. That is cool. I mean, like, you know, when things are truly cool, such as people's use of language and inventing new terms, you don't really, you know, you don't really need to say it out loud. It just is. But, you know, I'm trying to, you know, tone down the extremities. When it comes to Rizz, Oxford recently credited it to a black person, but also credited it to a predominantly white online space and celebrity for popularizing it. Both can be true in this case, because from activism to dating in wider culture, as Gen Z comes to have more impact on society, differences in perspective and lifespan play out in language too. I'm sure you all saw the cringiest thing that ever cringed, which was the SNL episode where Elon Musk guest starred, and they did the Gen Z like segment where they were just all like, hey, what if in this sketch you're like a doctor, and then as a doctor you use all these terms that Gen Z folk use, and then you just run with it, and then it's like, again, nuclear levels of cringe. One of the cringiest things that human beings have ever concocted in the, you know, the chemistry of cringe. This shit was fucking a complete abomination. And a lot of people pointed out that, well, what you were calling Gen Z speak is actually a lot of terms invented by black people. You know, a lot of, like, if you're my generation, okay, if you're a millennial, you might remember Justin Timberlake. He was pretty cool. And what was he saying? Faux shiz, you know? Because, again, he had lots of black friends, and he was kind of immersed within a lot of the music scene, and he obviously, you know, was doing collaborations with a lot of big artists, like Timbaland, for example, is one such example. And also, obviously, him and Jay-Z started touring together, so you can't deny that he did have black friends. But now that, you know, Britney Spears has kind of revealed this whole thing, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, looking in hindsight, obviously, it was a little cringe, for sure. And who among us is not immune to this? You know, like, there's times when I don't realize it, but a lot of the phrases that sometimes I say, I definitely picked up from watching tons and tons and tons of Dave Chappelle, being like fucking obsessed with Dave Chappelle. I thought Dave Chappelle was one of the funniest human beings to ever fucking, you know, walk the face of the earth. And yes, I do know about the Lowen Bobert, and I do know about all the other stuff. Yes, my heart has been broken, okay? Multiple times. It can be broken. I'm just curious whether or not white supremacist Matt Walsh is going to acknowledge any of this, or if he is going to acknowledge it and get extra furious, you know?
Well, that's not even a new word. It topped those in the annual decision by experts at the publisher of the multi-volume Oxford English Dictionary. The 4 finalists were selected by a public vote, and the winner was announced on Monday. Rizz is believed to come from the middle of the word charisma and can be used as a verb, as in to rizz up or chat someone up. Publishers.
Okay, if you were laughing at me for saying half of these terms and being like, oh God, this is funny, you know, to hear white old Lance, you know, say all these terms, and it's hilarious. I mean, it's equally funny as to hear Matt Walsh try and say it, or to rizz up. Yeah.
Said, it speaks to how younger generations create spaces where they own and define the language they use. From activism to dating and wider culture, as Gen Z comes to have more impact on society, differences in perspectives and lifestyle play out in language too. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm only reading this because it highlights kind of this weird aspect of modern society, which is that our vocabularies are shrinking. Like the average.
The math checks out. Vocabulary is shrinking by new words and terms being added to the lexicon. It's 1 + 1 is -4. Have you not figured that out yet? What's wrong with all of you? Our vocabulary is literally shrinking before our eyes every time a new term comes along.
Vocabulary now is like 10 words. Okay, it's just 10 words and grunts and pictures. And so the vocabulary is shrinking, and yet we're inventing new words every year. So there's never been more words invented.
Okay.
And also, there's never been fewer words known or used. And it's
so spoken, ultimately, is what you're getting at. As in the English language, you're not going to die. It's expanding. We're just not using a lot of it. And you don't like the words that we are using, I assume.
a very strange dichotomy. And I think it's because all of our new words are just variations of old words. So they're taking old words and they're shortening them, or they're combining them. So
That's never happened. Yeah, please don't look at ye old English, okay? Just don't take 2 looks at it, all right? We don't speak like that anymore. We doth have changed our marrow way.
It's like we're doing to the English language what we've done to churches. You know, they go into old churches that used to be ornate and beautiful, and they intentionally make them crude and ugly. Or
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you're talking about how just like some of the architecture of old cathedrals can be, I will agree with you. Absolutely jaw-droppingly stunning. I've walked through some of them where I just see, like, I can see why people back in the day may have been convinced by this kind of stuff as being somehow, you know, ornate or divine. Yeah, definitely, I get that. But like, they're churches at the end of the day. A lot of them are using from the stolen wealth of indigenous people, and that's kind of what, you know, plated a lot of the gold and riches that lined the Vatican. Not exactly the greatest thing. I'm actually kind of stoked that if there's a modern day church, they're not going to be like, should we kind of just invade someone else's land and take the gold, conquistador style, if you will?
with modern art, people used to sculpt gorgeous, impressive figures out of stone or wood, and now they just plop a wood block down, and they call that art. In fact, I saw someone post a minimalist. They said it was a minimalist artistic nativity set that was on sale somewhere, and it's just blocks of wood instead of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
I love that so much. I love that a series of wood. Hey, the one thing all of you are trying to pretend you love out of nowhere. I've seen your sets. I've seen Tucker Carlson's set. It's all wood, baby. You try to fucking live in a fucking lumberjack fantasy shit. I know what's going down. So now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, no, just a bunch of wood. Apparently that's supposed to be Jesus. And these are the 3 kings insulting. And that little piece of wood there is either one of the, I don't know, like a goat, a lamb.
Those are from the shepherds and wise men and everything. It's just the blocks of wood. So like the wood that they, in the past, they would have like carved.
Okay, I gotta see this now. Hold on. Manger scene art made of wood. Oh, these can't be it. I fail to believe this because all of these look very detailed. Maybe I should be more specific. Made of sticks. Well, wait. No, these all still look pretty nice. Even this one. I mean, that's cute. Come on. Can't be that one. All right, hold on. What about minimalist? Minimalist manger scene. All right, this has got to be it. Is it this one? That's still beautiful. What? Okay, this one's on CNN, so it has to be like this. This was a year ago. I don't know. Jury's out on whether or not this is the one. Come on, Matt, you should love it. This looks so corporate. This looks exactly what you'd expect to see in like a dentist's office in the very front, you know? Whereas like there'd be business cards in between these 3 things. It matches the logo. That's true. That's his fucking Matt Walsh logo. How can you hate it, Matt? I've seen what you fucking told attempt to put into AI. I hope he's not lying. I don't want him to have been lying, okay? This is one of those things where I personally want to believe that someone did a minimalist major scene, and if it hasn't been done, I'm fucking doing it, all right? I'm gonna be doing it. There's enough wood in fucking Vancouver. I'm putting together a fucking nativity scene just to piss off Matt Walsh, if someone hasn't already done it. But I'm not seeing it in the Google first 3 pages either. Ugh, I really hope he didn't make it up because I want to believe. I want to know that someone had done that and he'd seen it and it reviled him on some level where he was just disgusted by the very idea. Like, how dare you? How dare you do that to Jesus? Jesus. I'm sounding like a grandmother when I'm saying it.
And that's what we're doing with language. We're replacing distinct and beautiful words with blocks of wood. Rizz. What the hell is that?
He just had it explained to you.
Rizz. I mean, ironically, if you use the word Rizz,
old man with no Rizz yells at Rizz.
then you have none. That's the irony of it.
Okay, so I'll explain to you the two versions, the original version, and then I'll explain to you the way Gen Zers have adopted that and then tried to make it their own vernacular. Okay, so if they were to say you have negative Rizz and you had less than negative Rizz before, apparently it was just like going into other dimensions kind of style. So what you did is you decided you wanted to do some gender affirming care and you grew yourself a beard. Now I'm not going to shit on your beard. I can't grow one. So hey, you got that right. But that has allowed you then, in your own opinion, your own assessment, to increase your Rizz power levels. That's what you've done there. So that's how. And in the other original version, again created by black people, it's about having game. So if you could pick up a girl or a woman or perhaps I don't know, someone who is also into diaper wrestling, well, if that was the case, then you had Rizz in that instance. So in both cases, yes, you have neither. But well, maybe for the diaper wrestling, I'm not going to take that Rizz away from you.
That's a word you use if you have the IQ and personality of a barnacle.
Took a couple seconds on that one. Couldn't think of low IQ things. What do we got here? Ferret? No, they're kind of clever. Dolphin? No, dolphins are fucking smart. And it'll come to me. Wood? Block of wood. Yeah, like a block of wood manger scene.
Like, what's wrong with just saying charisma? Why can't you just say that? Charisma is a good word. Charisma is a meaningful word.
So the thing is, like, no one who uses Rizz is telling you that you can't use charisma. Because that would be weird, right? Just trying to police someone's language. Be like, oh, whoa, don't say charisma, say Rizz. Hey, how do you do, fellow Gen Zs, you know?
There's nothing wrong with that word. Just say charisma. Now, sure, it has 3 syllables. It takes slightly longer to say, but you can do it. I believe in you. You can manage to say charisma. It's not hard. You can say the whole thing. It's 3 syllables. You can actually say it. It takes like 1 millisecond longer.
He cosplays as a boomer. They all do, right? They all, you know, they put on a little plaid and they go out there, they show off all their wood. Like, look at my wood desk, look at my wood walls, blah, blah, blah. Look at my wood shop. And then it's like, do you ever use the wood shop? No, this was all custom design. This is Armani. But like, it's cool, right? Like the finish, everything they did. Yeah, it's, I think it's pretty authentic. Yeah, definitely looks like the common man. That's what I'm trying to be. Have you seen Ben Shapiro? That man buys wood. Yes, 1 plank at a time, all right? He doesn't fuck around. He wants to know first whether or not he loves that plank. He goes right into Home Depot, says, fuck you, soy cucks, buys a fucking plank of wood, heads out, puts the wood in the bag, shows one of his, you know, employees, hey, can we gram this? You know, throw this on the gram. Oh, sorry, don't want to piss off Matt Walsh. On the Instagram. Can we put this on the Instagram, please, to get likes?
It's not like you're so busy that you have to shorten all the words now, or use.
Yeah, like you don't see a lot of people like doing performative boomer shit too, right? Where it's just like, how do you do, fellow boomers?
Pictures in place of like actual sentences. And if you didn't know any better, you look around and you think, well, people are so busy, they don't have any time to like communicate in full.
Instagram is 2 words shortened into 1. Well, we got to save some time eventually, right? I mean, we got to eat at a certain point of the day, okay?
Words and sentences.
Got to get that soy.
People are so busy. Like, no, they're not. What do they do? What's everyone doing? Not doing anything. We've never been less busy. Balance of nature, fruits and veggies are.
By the way, it's fucking masterclass. No one does the fucking just like content garbage farms the way that the right does. I know there's been the whole H-Bomber guy investigation, and yes, James Somerton definitely deserved to be called out. What a piece of shit. No question. Great job, H-Bomb. But the right is fucking on a consistent basis. They'll take something. A quarter of the video will either be reading a direct quote of someone else, and then like just that, they'll just like read fucking a full page of it. Then afterwards, give you their 2-second. You know, it might be 2 minutes of a 10-minute video is their actual contribution or content, where all of a sudden it's like, what does Rizz even mean? Shorten words, speak more. Yeah. And then we get the ads. The ads run the fucking, they pad the rest of the runtime. Let's learn about balance of nature, you know?
Are a great way to make sure you're getting essential nutritional ingredients every.
Yeah, of course. If there's one person I want to know about fucking the quality of food is fucking diaper wrestling expert Matt Walsh. I want the guy who's into watching like fucking Nazis get greased up, wrestle each other, tackle each other to the ground, like while wearing diapers. That's what I want to learn before I put food in my mouth. But yeah, congratulations, especially to the Black community for Word of the Year 2023. I know there's obviously a lot of appropriation by other people of language, and then it's turned into. And by the time it gets to the end of the outrage machine over here by Matt Walsh, it's one of those things where everyone thinks it's Gen Z speak. Yes. Gen Z has invented another term. Yes, what is it? Faux shizzle. Faux shizzle. Okay, so it's like for sure. Yes, it's like for sure. It is like saying for sure.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Can you please hit the like and subscribe button and maybe leave a comment? It really does help the videos out. But first, the people who produce everything you see before you and make this entire channel possible: Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Puppy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian DeMel, Trevbot.exe, Words Greenwood, and Travis McClinton. And also, thank you to every other person who helps fund this show. Their names are on the screen right now. It would not be possible without every single one of them. We cannot thank you enough. And if you want to join the Patreon, please come to patreon.com/theserfs and help us exist.